Good evening, Speed Gaming, and welcome to tonight's Super Metroid: A Link to the Past Combo Randomizer Friday Night Weekly. It's going to be a good one tonight. We've got hard mode Keysanity. If you're familiar with Link to the Past Keysanity, imagine that, but also with Super Metroid keys. And if you've never seen Super Metroid keys, well, you're in for a treat. I'm Craze Gamer, and on Restream tonight we've got Ike here on the left and Scrupula on the right, and we are now getting started. So hard mode in SMZ3 will require our runners to do some extra sort of tricks and glitches in Super Metroid, which are not usually required in normal mode. Now, in hard mode, usually you'll have two items in logic in normal non-Keysanity mode, but in Keysanity, there's only one item available in Blue Brinstar, and that is the Morph Ball pedestal. The second item in the ceiling, which is normally an E-Tank, is blocked by a key, and Ike here may not be aware of that, or he is deciding to ignore that and just go to the Morph Ball pedestal anyway. So let's see if this pays off. Meanwhile, Scrupula found bombs on the island and an arrow capacity upgrade in the sanctuary. He did a map check and realized that this is Keysanity, so you don't know any of the dungeon information until you get a map for it. And Ike here did realize that the Brinstar 1 key blocks off Billy Mays and that section of Blue Brinstar, so that's a reset, and it's to Hyrule we go. Scrupula is doing Houlihan to get a whole bunch of rupees for free. This is a trick you can do to trick the game into not knowing what to do when you drop down and it puts you in a default room that has all those rupees, but you can only do it once. It's a free 225. Scrupula's going to go to Uncle. He's going to get a tree pull out of it, and we're going to see the two items that are in the Uncle area. Bombs is a great one, especially in the early game. That'll open up a lot of the Kakariko village checks. So in SMZ3, when you go from Super Metroid to A Link to the Past, you already have a Tier 3 tree pull. So the normal strat of picking up a side and hitting a guard with it to get the tree pulls rolling doesn't really do anything unless you're wanting to change what the tier pull is. Apparently there has been a map. So it's probably on Uncle, if I had to guess. Yes, it is. So an early lamp, while it's nice to be able to see in the dark, does trigger some alarm bells, but not a lot. Because part of the Yaga package is the lamp, but you also need at least one sword and a cape or two swords. But because it's Keysanity, you also need two castle tower keys. So nothing to be concerned with yet, but always something you gotta be a little bit concerned about if you're running Keysanity. We have divergence right away from our two runners. Scrupula is doing race game, Ike here is doing escape. And that's a free E-Tank, and E-Tanks are going to be important in hard mode because our runners may be expected to go into Upper Norfair without the Varia Suit. Alright, just a missile tank in the first chest, and everything here is out of logic without the Hyrule Castle small. Scrupula's Spy is 10 arrows on the library ledge, so probably not going back for that. Alright, Scupula is going to go from the bottom up for Kakariko Village, and doesn't find anything right away, but we've got a chicken hut. We've got a whole bunch of checks coming up as well. Yeah, IQ's going to need to use some pots in order to kill the guard, and oh, that I don't think it can work now. Yeah, this might be a lost cause here. Yeah. Unless you can reload the room, but if you reload the room, I think the green guard comes back too. Oh, we've got a flute apparently? Scupula found a flute in the village, and that's a really convenient place to get a flute. Alright, the pots do come back, and the green guard doesn't. Alright, that's fortunate. So, not a huge time loss, but obviously not the most efficient. But considering the small the small loadout, especially doing this early, you know, that makes sense. Okay, so somebody found a swamp small. I think it was Scupula. And Akira's gonna run into a guard and take a death warp back to the front. That's a map for Lower Norfair, so once Scupula gets to Lower Norfair, he can check the map and see what Ridley's hiding. Also found a Book of Mudora, which is going to open up desert. So Aikir's going to take the lamp and go into Dark Cross in logic with the lamp. Lamp, lamp. Good words. Without the Hyrule Small, Aikir will not be able to go into the back, but that gets opened up by either the Hyrule Castle Small Key or a glove. So that's pretty easy. Alright, Scupula's taking a drop down. And it's missiles. And there was a pod key in Cross, and there was a Palace of Darkness key in Dark Cross. There are 6 of them out in the world, so it's a better than even chance that a small key you pick up is going to be a pod small. $50 just lying in the woods. And Scoop is going to give us our very quick pet check with an early book. This is very reasonable. Alright, are we doing pendant dungeons tonight? Some kind of fire rod for aliens is the plasma beam. That is unfortunate. It is not progression, but it means we do not have a plasma beam. The blue boomerang is on the lumberjack ledge, so that's another convenience item we will not be picking up. Alright, we've got a Gina check. Reasonable, because Scupula is probably going to go straight to desert. It's a small. It's a Misery Mire small. Does not want to go into desert. Not unheard of. You don't have a small key, so you can't check the 2 on the right side. But it would be information. But then again, if you have a flute, you could just go to desert whenever you want. Alright, Scoopio's going to give us our first look at the dam. You may want that. I mean, you'll definitely get it. You definitely want that too. Alright, we've got an ether and we've got flippers in the dam. So very fortunate that Scoopula did Houlihan as soon as he could, because now with the flippers, he can't set, like, you wouldn't be able to set up the Houlihan the same way. At this point, if Ikir follows the path and doesn't do Houlihan, he would need a glove in order to do the other known setup. Well, the other easy setup anyway. Was that Quake? Yeah, that was Quake. That's what happens when you just see the medallion and you don't, like, really take a good look at it. Uh-oh. Scoop's gonna have to be careful with this one. There it is. Does have to hold on to one bomb in order to open up Ice Rod Cave. Speaking of ice, there's an ice beam. And it's a big key to Hera. Always good to get that out of the way. And a space jump. Scoopio putting that flute to good use, saving a couple of seconds to flute to 8 instead of walking. Uh-oh. Takes a hit, and now he is one-hit KO range from a crab. Ikir finds his flute. And inside Ice Rod Cave is Supers. Ikir is now ready to travel the world on a bird. Scoopula picking up the quick 10-pack of bombs, opting not to do any additional farming off of the, what I think is Tier 1. Gonna go with the quick friend under the bridge check. So Ikir is going to pick up the E-Tank. We are playing hard mode, so E-Tanks are always good, and that's sort of the risk you take when you look at when you scout the item first. Is that if it's marginal, it's like you have to, decide if you're going to go for it. Whereas if you check it blind and it's something like okay, you don't mind going for it. But if it's something like a missile pack or a 20, then you can just turn it down. But if it's something like an E-Tank where it's like, yeah, you could probably do want it early. Alright, Scoop is going to get 3 items in Sahasrar's closet, and he's going to ask Sahasrar where the green pendant is. Desert Palace, alright. An ice small, an eastern map, and a missile. Did Ikir pick up a glove somewhere? Oh wait, no, flute to 1. Never mind. Gets a small shield for rescuing the old man. Meanwhile, Scoopio's going to take the Eastern dip, and I usually like this. Eastern is Sphere 1 after all, might as well. And with the lamp, you can go all the way to the Vanilla Bicky chest. Granted, we don't have a bow, we don't have an Eastern Big, so can't really do anything after that. Ikir spies powder in Spec Rock. Scrupula getting power bombs in the first chest in Eastern. Powder's a nice safety. We won't know if that's progression or not until we find a hammer or we get Dark World access, which has to include mitts and a mirror. Meanwhile, Ikir is going into Norfair without a Morph Ball, so this is the only check you can make. It's a pretty good one, though. That is some Pegasus boots, and Ikir missed the Nova, so he's going to have to sit out for 30 seconds or so until it comes back around. Doing some target practice through the bit of the wall that you can Morph Ball through. And there it is. Ikir could also scout the item at Croc Escape, which is just a heart piece. And that's all for Ikir in Upper Norfair, but comes away with a big item. Because that is one check that is immediately available, and one that we don't care about, which is the library. Scoopio missing the damage boost, so he's going to have to take a little bit extra in order to get a Ganon's Tower small. Rock's just holding a heart piece, though. It looks like Ikir is going to take an Eastern Dip, while Scupula is going to go to the front of Escape. And presumably Dark Cross. Well, Ikir is going to get the information about Desert Palace being a green pendant. And with the boots, saves a bomb, is able to get these 3 items. Which we know is an ice small, a map, and I think missiles. Ikir gets the knowledge that Eastern is a blue pendant. So already we've found 2 of our 3 pendants, which is a little unfortunate that they ended up in the light world, but they gotta be somewhere, I suppose. Scrupula's green guard got away from him a little bit. Has a little bit of an easier time with the blue guard, though. You know, it's only got 1 heart to play with to deal with the ball and chain guard. Granted, we know that there's nothing... Actually, I forgot what's in Zelda's cell. It could be something, but then again, don't super remember. Okay, so Scoop's got 2 pots to play with, but needs all 3, so... Oh, never mind, it's just 2. And it's just 10 arrows, so that was not worth. Yeah, going through Eastern, or any dungeon really, without a sword is just a little inconvenient. Scupula picking up his Pod Small from Dark Cross. We'll see where he goes from here. I'm gonna guess it's Flute to 1 and start doing the mountain. Yes, it is. Ike here gets his Ganon's Tower small. And back to the mountain? Where are we going here? Oh, right. This is the easiest place to flute from. Expect a lot of start at Mountain Pass, Flute to 1, or rather Flute. My question, chat, is boss shuffle on for Legend of Zelda? No, this is, all the bosses are exactly where you want them to be. And Ike here doing a pedestal check of his own. And he will get the sad news that he will be without a plasma beam for this seed. Ike here is gonna flute to 7, and he's going to pick up his Quake and Flippers, which will unfortunately lock him out of Houlihan in case he wants to do that. So he doesn't pick up the Flippers immediately, but he is going to go get an Ether. Now here's the sort of interesting conundrum, right? You know the Flippers are there, and the Flippers opens up Zora, which does, cost 500 rupees. And ironically, Houlihan gives you a lot of rupees, almost half of what you need. So it wouldn't be out of the question if a runner sees the Flippers, pieces out, does Houlihan, and then comes back for the Flippers. But Ike here picks him up and continues on into Mini Moldorm Cave. Alright, Scupula does make the trek into Desert Palace. We're gonna get one chest here, which is a good one. It's the mirror, which makes Tower of Hera accessible. Oh, that's an ugly spot for that. Alright, well, Scupula doesn't have boots. Can't get that yet, but we know what the boots are. He's just gotta go for them. The Pegasus boots are in High Jump E-Tank. So it is accessible because they can get to the mountain. And it's the only check they can make up there. And Scupula does not have a glove, so cannot continue on. Alright, let's see when Ikir is going to make his way to Desert, because that is, that's a very obvious place to... Oh, so Ikir is going to instead set up a water walk, and is going to go to the Zora area. Oop, I'm not sure if that ruined your water walk or not. Oh, it doesn't. Alright. I was under the assumption that bonking removes the water walk state, but apparently not. Alright, Scoop gets a TR small. And let's see... oh yeah. Scoopio already checked the man on the bridge. It's just an E-Tank. Scoopio sees a heart piece on the Zora ledge and does not have the 500 to continue. But Ikir is going to make the flippers checks here at Zora, is going to check Waterfall Cave, and look at the item on the ledge. It's a 20. It's a TR small. Scoopula misses the Nova, and will have to play the waiting game as well. But does pick up Pegasus Boots, so I assume he's going to beeline right back to Desert, pick up a hammer, and then we'll see where he wants to go from there. Meanwhile, Ike here is going to flute to 6, visit our friend Gina, and then probably make the desert dip as well. Comment in chat is we can check Alpha Peeps for Morph. That is, in fact, in logic. We'll see if our runners elect to do that, but I'm trying to figure out what else they can do besides that. Because right now, like, a hammer's great, obviously, but it doesn't do anything without... Like, it's part of Darkworld Access, we don't have it yet. We still need a glove, we still need a Moon Pearl. And there's Scoopula with a hammer pickup. And a quick mirror out. Oh, that's right, the hammer does give us the east side of the mountain. Alright, that is another 8 checks over there. Now to be something good. Oh, it also gives us Magic Bat as well, so this is one check that we can easily do. And this is a check I will very easily forget about. So, if it's something good, and I was running this race, I would be way behind. But then again, me being way behind is not really out of the ordinary. It's just a missile pack, but both of our runners are going to go get it anyway. Scoopio is going to check out Bonk Rocks. We know it's nothing. It looks like Ikea is going up the mountain, and we'll see if they stop into Hera first. They do have a big key, so that's... And they've got a hammer, so they can clear Moldorm, but... And it is a crystal, so this might be a play. They have to leave behind the basement, though. They don't have the Hera Small. And we can also scout what's on Ether Tablet. Let's see what we got. No matter what you do, red returns to you. We are not getting any boomerangs this seed. Big sad for that one space in our menu that will just go. Oh, there's a Moon Pearl. That's a French vanilla Moon Pearl. Criteria 2. If I was well prepared, I'd have the map in front of me that tells us what Criteria 2 blocks. Alright, Criteria 2 blocks off the area to the east of the ship, so that is the moat and the wreck ship area. Ike here is going to attempt this bomb jump, which is a little tricky to set up when you don't have a sword. It's going to play it safe and just do it the vanilla way, which is go up to the 5th floor, hit the switch, and then fall down this hole that appears. It's everyone's favorite beam, it's Spazer. Alright, Moldorm fight coming up. 3 hammer hits will put him down. This is true. We know that plasma is unavailable, so you might as well get a Spazer. Moldorm is holding a small key. It's a Ganon's tower. It's a Ganon's tower. That's our second Ganon's tower, and that's our first crystal of the night. Ike here correctly realizing that the hammer gives access to the east side of Death Mountain, and he is on his way to check the 8 checks that are here, plus scout the one on the floating island. The floating island has for us an E-tank, so if you're in the area, sure, but probably not going to be required. Why didn't they make Ganon's tower too? No sword, so I'm just gonna run straight into the mini Moldorms. Tank some damage. And Spiral Cave is just a hard piece. Ike here electing to go down here, which is the normal way of doing it. Does have a mirror, but would have to avoid the Tektites, and those would hit him to 0, so playing it safe. I approve. $10 and some money. Ooh, Scupula taking a death. I think that was... Was that in Spiral Cave? Alright, he's gonna have to figure out what he wants to do here. Probably want to try that again, because that is an amount of check you're leaving behind if you don't, and I don't even know if there's anything else to do. Rather... Oh, well, there's our Morph Ball. Alright, that opens up a lot. And a bow. That's a Skullwood Small. And our third Ganon's Tower Small. Alright, Ike here, getting a Morph Ball and peacing out. Gonna go right back to Super Metroid. We've got a lot to do. It looks like Scopula did get to Spiral Cave, so it's just going to go straight into Paradox, where he will pick up his Morph Ball, his bow, and his small collection of small keys. Like you're correctly remembering to turn on Spazer. One of the quirks about the combo randomizer is that if you pick up Plasma or Spazer in A Link to the Past, it does not automatically turn on when you get to Super Metroid. You do have to manually turn those on. And Ike here going to check Bomb Tereso and realizing that it is blocked off by the Criteria boss key. So the Criteria boss key is going to be an important one to pick up, not just because of Bomb Tereso, but it does block off Torian. So it's sort of the Super Metroid equivalent of the Ganon's Tower big key. We will need to find the Criteria boss key throughout the seed before we can finish it up. Also, a heads-up play by Akir to turn off the Ice Beam. With just Spazer, you're pretty much hitting everything multiple times, so if we find something like... If we find Wave Beam, then... and, like, Charge, then Ice can come back on. That'll, you know, greatly improve the strength of the beam. But until then, it's just the Shoot Twice beam. Well, there's a big key up there, so probably going to want to make that trip to Gauntlet at some point. I thought I've been pronouncing it Ikea, but I sometimes slip up, but thank you for that. Find a Palace of Darkness map in Terminator. Alright, lots to do in Brinstar. I'm going to check out the Brinstar Reserve area. You just got 10 hours under the bridge. Get a level 2 card for Brinstar and a level 2 card for Meridia. So Brinstar's level 2 area blocks off the Spore Spawn area and Edacoon. Yeah, Edacoons? Yeah, Edacoons. While Meridia 2, obviously we're not there yet because we don't have a gravity suit, but Meridia 2 blocks off... looks like everything in Aqueduct and Botwoon. So Ike here is going through. It does get half magic for his troubles. Not a bad pickup by any means. Meanwhile, Scubula is heading over to the wreck ship area. Gets 300 rupees in the moat. Not bad, especially when Zora is in logic. Now, even though we're in the wreck ship area, the wreck ship itself does have its own keys. Specifically, he's going to need wreck ship. He's going to need the wreck ship boss key in order to get into Fantoon, of course. I think he also needs the level 1 key in order to get into bowling. Doesn't have the wreck ship map, I don't think, so nothing came up on the map check. But he can check spooky missiles for a small key, which is another pod, and Ike here finds the Ice Palace big key at Big Pink. And Ike here finds the Meridia boss key at Mission Impossible. So we got a lot of Meridia keys, but currently no Gravity Suit. Usually you want to stay away from reserve tanks, but we are still below 5, so you do want to pick them up. Okay, Ike here is going to check out Spore Spawn Supers, which can be opened up with the Brinstar 2 key from this side. Oh, that's a small key, and it is a Hera small. Okay, that opens up one item, but hopefully don't need to go back for it. Meanwhile, Scubula is at Red Tower and is gonna fight some side hoppers and gets 20 rupees for his troubles. Ike here is going to set up the wave gate glitch. In hard mode, this is required no matter if you have high jump boots or not, and this is blocked by a level 2 Brinstar key, which he does have, and it is our Gravity Suit. Alright, well, that opens up a lot, obviously, and we already have 2 of the 3 keys for Meridia, so that might be the place to go next. Meanwhile, Scubula finding a fungus in Alpha Peeps. I think Ike here does have enough power bombs to clear out Retro Brinstar. I'm just looking to see if he has. Does he have Brinstar 1? Does not have Brinstar 1, so he doesn't have access to the right side just yet, but does have the ability to check Alpha missiles. Elects against it and is instead going to go up to Old Mother Brain. Yes, I think he realized that he can check Alpha missiles. Like, another way to do that is to go up to Old Mother Brain, check that, and then come back down, because you're probably going to go down to Norfair anyway. But let's see how he routes this. That's a bottle, and that's our first one, so that's a good pickup. Never know if Sick Kid is holding your next progression. Over on Scrupulous side, he's going to show us what's at Spazer. It's power bombs, sure. Usually 15's the magic number, but can't hurt to have more, in case you need to Crystal Flash later. Ike here finding another E-Tank, which gives him 3+1. We still don't have a Meridia map, so don't know what Dragon's holding on to just yet. Meanwhile, Ike here is going to attempt to scout what's at Criteria Supers. Won't be able to get it. Don't have Speed Booster, but you can see what the item is. Just an E-Tank. Just a heart piece in the wall at Crade's area, and Scrupule has to turn around. Does not have the Brinstar boss key just yet. Alright, Scrupule's heading down to Upper Norfair on 3 tanks. I don't think that's enough to get to Cathedral and back. Normally you'd be able to get to Ice Beam and Crumble Tower, but you do need the Upper Norfair 1 key for that. Can't check the rest of the high jump area, though. It's just a 5-hour capacity extension over at where the missile usually is, and high jump is holding on to some extra clothing. Well, Ike here is going to head over to the right side. Let's see if he goes to the wreck ship area or Red Tower. Muscle memory is the power bomb drop, not necessary in keys. Alright, Scoop is back in Hyrule, is going to turn in a mushroom. When you go between games, it does save, so this can be a save scum if he wants it, but then again, he has the hammer and the magic powder, so there's really no need for it, but it is a key, so it is Meridia 1. That's all of our Meridia keys, so methinks Meridia is the next play. Ike here getting the pod small out of Spooky. And Scrupio's got the cash, so now it's time to visit the king. Alright, what's the king got for us today? Nothing. Just a missile. Expensive missiles. No thank you. to Super Metroid for Scupula. Let's see what he elects to do. He still has to do his Brin Loop, and that's going to give him a Gravity Suit plus extras. He's going to head down to Retro Brinstar. Well, he's gonna check Shaft Troopers on the way. Making good use of the Ice Beam. Ike here gets his Mushroom, and he'll be happy with that, because that's going to give him his Meridia 1 key, and that's going to give him the entire Meridia package. He can go wherever he wants there. There's a couple of checks he's going to leave behind, though. Well, kinda. You can check Shack Tool with the Ice Beam. It's not a great check, but you can do it. And that's if you want to, because, you know, it's Shack Tool after all. But you can get to Botwoon with the Ice Beam, and Dragon is beatable. Here's something I just thought of. Plasma Beam would... Well, I have to check this, but in normal logic anyway, Plasma Beam is only in logic with either Plasma Beam or Screw Attack, and we know where Plasma Beam is, and our runners are probably not going to get it. So that really just depends on where Screw Attack is if they want an easy time of it. If they want a hard time of it, they'll have to find Speed Booster or Charge Beam in order to defeat the enemies in the Plasma Beam room, but we're a ways from that. Scupula looks like he's going to do his Brin Loop from here. We'll see if he wants to go to the left to Pink and then go to Edicoons, or if he's going to go the other way. I would imagine you'd want to check Green Hill Zone and then turn around and go to Pink Brin. Alright, so I'm looking at the logic for Plasma Beam. It is each of can defeat Dragon, we've got that. Charge with 3 energy reserves or Screw Attack or Plasma or Speed Booster. High Jump or can Spring Ball Jump or can Fly or Speed Booster. So what that is telling me is that the game does expect a Pseudo Screw or Shine Sparks with a High Jump or Spring Ball Jump. Now we do have the Can Fly with Space Jump, so we can get out the room. But we still need a way to defeat the pirates in that room, and that's what Charge with 3 energy reserves or Screw Attack or Plasma or Speed Booster does. I just missed what was at Mama Turtle Missile. The Mire Big, okay. We're not there yet, but that is obviously good to know. Oh, Ikir is piecing out because he doesn't have Meridia 1. Well, we know it is in his future, but... Alright, Scupula getting his level 2 keys for Meridia and Brinstar, along with a bonus super missile. And that's Scupula's Wreck Ship 1. Yeah, Wreck Ship 1 doesn't really do much until you can defeat Phantoon, so you really need the Wreck Ship boss key before getting it Wreck Ship 1. Right, so not only would Plasma have to be required if all of those items that I mentioned before were behind Plasma, but like you can still see what the Plasma item is and then reset out. But in order to get out of the room, you need to be able to defeat the pirates, and it's either going to be a pseudo screw, or it's going to be screw attack, or it's going to be shine sparks. Oh, Ikir's farming. Is this going to be a cathedral check? I think he's got 4+1, so it's certainly possible. Granted, he does not have the necessary Norfair key to get into Bubble Mountain, but you can check this, and oh, if this is Norfair... Oh, that's lower Norfair 1. I was going to be like, if that's the key to get into Bubble Mountain, that would be mean. But it is not. But he will need it at some point, and he's going to set up a Crystal Flash, but he's got reserves. I don't know if this works. Nope, he's going to have to try it again. There it is. With exactly enough power bombs. Well, that's a lie. He had 11 after laying it, so he had 1 extra. Alright, Scupula is going to be getting his gravity suit in short order. And now that gives him the Meridia access. He's got both area keys and the boss key. So I assume that is his next stop, after checking whatever it is that he needs to check in Brinstar first. And we see that Ridley is holding onto a red crystal. Oh. Oh. Chad is right. Meridia Dark World access is Dark World access. That is an ugly Dark World access, because you can't save and quit, because you have to make that trip back through Meridia if you want to get back there. It is ugly, but you could do it. And I've done it before, and it's not pretty. Meanwhile, Ikir is going to check out the basement. He does have the Hera small, so this is 1 check. And we'll see if it's a good one. So something to consider with Meridia Dark World access is you have to look at what your Dark World looks like when you get there. And at the moment, there's no way to get to the north and the west side. You don't have the hook shot. So the Dark World access would be... oh, ew. It would be Swamp without the hook shot. It would be Hype Cave. It would be... it would be a... well, you can get to Pod. How many keys do they have? Oh, they got one. That's not a very good pod. Catfish. Pyramid Ledge. Stumpy race game. It's not super great, especially because you can't get to Thieves Town, you can't get to Skullwoods, just... So what was in Hera? That was a map. That was a Super Metroid map. I didn't see which area it was, but it is a map so that when you check the map for that area, you get to see what the boss is holding. It was the Meridia map? Okay. And that is Meridia level 1 key for Ike here, and that will probably tell him where to go next, because he's got all the keys, and he's got the map as well, so he will see what the boss is holding. But while we're in town, we might as well visit the sick kid, see what he's got. He's got a heart. Alright, Ike here with the heads-up play of resetting to the ship to get a refill of supers. Because it was a very easy play to make to flute one and then go to Norfair, because that's how you easily get to Meridia, but Ike here electing otherwise, that's probably better for him. So now he's going to head back. Scrupula picking up his Mire Big. And Ike here's going to reset back to the mountain and very likely go into Norfair. Scrupula is going to be the first to make it into the watering hole part of Meridia. Ike here electing to put on ice at this point. The enemies in Meridia do take a little bit more, so not a bad play for sure. And we're actually going to see like a little bit of the difference in beams between our two runners, because Scrupula did not go to the Hera big chest to pick up Spazer, so he's just running on ice and nothing else. Which is effectively as good as a pea shooter in this case. Alright, Scubula is gonna go check. Alright, here's a Snail Clip. Nice. First try. The trick is a little bit less forgiving if you don't have high jump boots, but Scoop finds the magic pixel and is able to jump through. Actually, I think it's 2 pixels. Both have Spazer? Well, Scoopula doesn't have it on. He doesn't have it on because he didn't turn it on. Because, as mentioned before, Spazer is not automatically turned on if you pick it up in A Link to the Past. So, if he menus, he'll probably turn it on, but at the moment, it's just an Ice Beam. Alright, well, this is left sandpit. That's kind of important. He's going to remember that for later, because it is likely required that Turtle Rock is a crystal, because we've already found 2 pendants. Yep, Ike, you're having a little bit of an issue with the snail. There it is. Alright, Scoopy will check on the right side. And we got 20 bucks. And a heart piece. Yep, so Scoopy is definitely going to want to go to the left side in order to pick up a sword and an ice rod. He may want to get that on the way out. Or he could choose to get it now, which is not unheard of. He may not like his Batoon or Dragon fight. You could do it, it's just... could be a little dicey. Alright, Scuba's gonna... Yep, Scuba's gonna get some much needed items. This is hard logic. So, the Snail Clip may have been required. There could have very well have been a speed booster or an item that would lead to speed booster amongst those 2 items, but that was not the case tonight. Oh, Scoopiel's got the play. He's going to the right. There's only one thing that's to the right here. We're gonna visit our friend Shacktool. No, we don't have a grapple beam, so we have to freeze a Puyo in the exact spot that will let us clip through the floor. And this is less forgiving without high jump or X-ray scope, because X-ray scope would let you stand up while you were crouching down or something to that effect. It makes it easier. That's all I know. Also, you'll have to shoot at the Puyos a little bit more because he does not have his Spazer beam on. And right now, this Puyo is bullying him a little bit, but Does have it now down to the proper HP, so now one shot will freeze it, so now he's just gotta get in the right spot and shoot, but it's a little early. Yeah, the timing on this is tricky, because that thing moves when it wants to. It's got to be at the right height for you to freeze it in place and be able to clip through it. Ikiri is going to elect to visit Baboon instead, so he's going to do an ice clip on this mock droid, which will let him clip through that. And here's a Baboon. Alright, Baboon is playing a little nicer. Now things are going to get a little trickier as he speeds up. It is not likely that Ikir is going to soft lock. He's got plenty of regular missiles, but obviously we'll have to hit him a little more, and there it is. Just missiles at Baboon E-Tank. Scupula is still trying to get this Puyo to cooperate. I would imagine Scupula has on his mind how much time he's going to dedicate to this, because the longer you stick to this, the more time's a wasting, and if Shaq is not the required progression, then that's a lot of time down the drain. Like, this may be something he would want to come back to, because there is a beatable boss in front of him in the form of Dragon, but he might just be on, this is my plan, and, you know, we've been there before, and if the gamble works out, it works out. Ikir is going to show us Precious Missiles, which is just 20, which he is going to pick up. I don't remember if he did Zora yet or not. Muscle Memory is the super. And here's a Dragon. That might be, yeah, that looks a little too high. And now that Puyo might be just on its own world at this point. It's still doing the thing, but if that Puyo gets wildly out of position, then you have to reset the room. Meanwhile, Ikir getting a Dragon kill credit out of Dragon, appropriately enough. Picks up a 50. And we'll see what he wants to do from here. So he's already done the left sand pit, so he doesn't have to go back there. So the question is, does he save Scum and peek at Plasma? Or does he forego that? Yes, he is going to take a save, and I would imagine he is going to check Plasma to see if it's necessary. Yep, and scoops out. I don't blame him here. Like, if it's not happening, it's not happening. So there's a lot of other things in front of him. There's Dragon Kill, and there's an amount of Dark World that you don't like, but no shame in attempting it, for sure. If it's in front of you, you go for it. That's, you know. Is that a skip in logic? That is a great question. I think ice does make that in logic, but let me just confirm that. Springbow requires requires a super and a grapple and can't use power bombs. We got that. And one of either gravity and either can fly or high jump, or ice and high jump and can springbow jump and space jump. So no, that is... Oh no, that's out of logic? Alright, I missed what was at Plasma, but Ike here reset it, so I assume that's nothing. Oh, oh! Ooh, that's a big old question mark. Oh, that's... Oh wait, the DP big. Alright, never mind. If that was the DP small, I'd be like, oh, that's a question mark. But if it's the DP big, that's required. Actually, oh, wait, no, it's a green pendant that may not be required. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, huh. Well, there's logical implications to that. Because, Plasma is one of the items that you need to get that. Okay. So Ike here is now in the Dark World, which we do have the access because in SMZ3, if you can access that portal, you can access, and you have flippers, you can access the Dark World. So this is now going to be a very annoying Dark World because your save and quit options are extremely limited when you can't easily get back here. It also makes Overworld that's a lot more punishing. If you're going to take a death in the Dark World when your access is this, you want to make sure it's in a dungeon. We see that pod is a blue crystal. Very heads-up tree pull by Ike here to get some bombs. And in Hype Cave, we've got a map to TR, Peebs, Piece of Heart, Missile, and a glove. Alright, well, we don't have to worry about the Overworld deaths anymore because that is our normal Dark World access. And TR is a red crystal. Is that both of them? Well, we know it's both of them. We've seen both, but Ike here is going to get the news that TR and Lower Norfair are red crystals. Yes, Bot Moon was in the base game and was required. There was no other way to get to Dragon except going through that corridor. They'll be just holding on some supers. It's a small key. It's a nice palace small, which is not specifically required, but always good to have. Alright, Scoopa is gonna shoot some super missiles at Dragon. Has speed ammo kill, doesn't have any of the tricks required to kill Dragon quickly, like Speed Booster or Grapple Beam or Charge, Charge Plasma and X-Ray Scope. Alright, Ike here is going to mirror out and flute. Where is Ike here going? Ike here is going to head up, because he can't walk up from Race Game to the Village of Outcasts without Mitt, but since we have normal Dark World access now, we can just get there the normal way. Meanwhile, Scoopia brings down Dragon, earning himself a Dragon kill. We are playing a 7-7-4 tonight, so we do need all 4 of those boss tokens, and we need all 7 of those crystals. Chess game just has some missiles. Brewery has another bottle. I think we're still missing our 3rd French Vanilla Mets. Very good. I think we're still missing our 3rd Pendant, but there's a very good chance that every dungeon from here on out is required. Oh, that's a good pickup. We got a hook shot in Thieves Town. And a fire rod. Wow, the front of Thieves Town just got everything today. And without a Thieves Big, we are turning around, but not without some goodies. That's a Mire Small in the C-shaped house. Meanwhile, Scoopio is going to happen upon his glove, and is now excited that he doesn't have to worry about coming back here through Meridia. And with a pair of Titan's mitts, Ike here is going to begin the fabled Smith Chain. Meanwhile, Scoopio getting his red crystal information, which is Ridley and TR. I definitely didn't forget, even though it just happened 3 minutes ago. And what are our smiths crafting today? They've got a reserve tank. Can't really hit enemies with it, but we'll take it. Ikea is electing to just flute over to... And, well, I guess I was assuming he was going to flute over to 7 and then walk over, but this works too. Right, so he's leaving the chest behind because you can't dash with the chest, but for some reason, when you mirror, the game still thinks that the chest is following you, so you have a couple of seconds to turn it in while your iframes are going. And since we're right here, Ikea is going to mirror to Bombo's tablet and get whatever's here. And on Bombo's tablet, we've got a small key that goes to TR. Alright, that's his second. Can't really... So you need minimum of 3 to beat TR. Obviously 4 puts everything in logic, but you're leaving behind the lava chest. 2 gets you to Laser Bridge. Alright, Ike here is going to Swamp. It is clearable. It's going to leave behind the big chest, but you always hope that you don't need it. It's a Skullwoods map in the first chest. Speaking of Skullwoods, that's where Scoopula is right now. I'm going to be a little disappointed because we know where the Fire Rod is, and he's going to have to come back for this. And as the old saying goes, there is always a sword in Swamp Palace. Alright, in Skullwoods we got level 2 key for Norfair. Okay. The level 2 key for Norfair is Bubble Mountain. Alright, well, that's a lot of checks there. Screwbill can now catch fairies in a net. And some extra supers. Ike here gets some missiles. Scoop finds a red 20 in Skullwoods and elects to mirror out. Meanwhile, Ike here is going to set up Diver Down. Does not have Cane of Samaria, so he's going to have to do it with just bombs. Requires a little bit of an extra and a little bit more precise setup, but it's certainly possible. Get that bomb lined up exactly where you need it to, and that clips you into the rail, and in you go. Scoop picking up his Mire Small from C-Shape House, and hopefully he heads into Thieves Town because there is a treasure trove of things he's going to want in the front. Meanwhile, on the left side is just a red 20. I mean, all the 20s are red. It's not like we're substituting. It's not like there's things in the item pool that are, like, left out. And that's a mitts for Scrupula. Ike here doing Diver Down again. Gets a cape and some missiles. Scrupula getting a Fire Rod and a Hook Shot. Yep. Realizes he does not have the Thieves Big, so he's out of there, but he's got a lot to do now. Ike here finds Norfair level 1. That gives him access to Ice Beam and Crumble Tower. Meanwhile, Scrupula has made his way back into Skull Woods, very likely going to clean up Mothula with a newly found Fire Rod, while Ike here is cleaning up Argus. A whole bunch of Ice Rod shots will do it for 50 bucks. And a Kraid token. Well, Ike here is heading over to the right. Is he gonna mirror to Ice Palace? Yeah, that seems to be the play. Oh, he's going to Zora because now he has enough money for it. We know it's going to be an expensive missile gift, but I mean, if you're here, you gotta do it. Like, you're getting a free green potion out of this, though. In SMZ3, these are always greens. Meanwhile, Scupio's gonna fight this moth. Fire Rod makes it pretty easy. Down goes Mothula. Gets a small key, which is a pod small, and a crystal. Alright, both of our runners are on the move. To the desert area. And then to Mire. The The Mire medallion, which we will see on both sides simultaneously, is Ether. We are now screen for screen. Heart piece and bombs in the Mire shed. They were all tied up on required bosses, just each one has one different. Ike here has Swamp House, while Scupula has Skullwoods. We're getting simultaneous checkerboard cave for a small key. Another pod small for each. Man, commentary and tracking is really easy when both runners are doing the exact same thing at the exact same time. Both of them are going to take the trip to Lower Norfair. And they do not have Varia, so this is probably just a quick look at screw attack and then get out. It is a boss key to Norfair. Well, that's interesting, but we don't have the energy to do that, so very not. By the by, if you are not following these runners, you should go ahead and follow these runners. They've been putting on a good show for us tonight, and it's SMZ3 hard keys, so we've got a little bit more ahead of us. Ooh, Scupio's being a little daring here. So, the Norfair boss key unlocks both Croc and Ridley. Alright, Scupio just looks to take a peek at what is behind Gold Tereso, finds it's nothing required, and it's going to reset out, which is going to put him back at the ship. Ike here, meanwhile, is making his way into Ice Palace. He's got a big key and 2 smalls, which will be enough. He just has to be careful not to open up one of the locked doors. I think it's the one in the center is the one you can skip. Nope, there is one key for each of the areas. So if you get, like, for instance, the boss key in Brinstar, that unlocks both Kraid and Spore Spawn. Criteria level 1 is an Ice Palace for Ike here. Criteria 1 unlocks Criteria Power Bombs and Gauntlet. And that is important because we know that there is a big key at the end of Gauntlet, so that is something Ike here will want to do. And just like that, Scupula has now entered Ice Palace, and now we are in the same dungeon. We're not at the exact same time, but Scupula is now just maybe a minute behind Ike here's progress. And without the Cane of Samaria, Icebreaker is off the table, so we have to go through this the normal way. Well, except for this room, because if you know the Ice Palace bomb jump, you should absolutely do the Ice Palace bomb jump. It saves you a bit of time as you're going into the dark room, unless you accidentally take a fall and have to do the Ice Palace bomb jump again. But, you know, if you know the setup, you might as well just, like... It's not like you just forget how to do it after you do it the first time. Right? Oh, that was very good. Usually the hookshot takes out the Pen Gators, but if you can properly time that spin, then you can take them all out just like that. Alright, so Ike here did use the key in the center there, so he is opting to do this a little bit faster, but he'll have to manage the keys a little bit. I think he's still fine as long as he doesn't open up the small key door That's a wreck ship boss, that's good. As long as he doesn't open up the door to the right side just before you get to Cold Stare, I think he'll be fine otherwise. Yeah, the rest of Ice Palace should be clearable. That includes Ice Tea and the big chest and free source. It's a map for here. Sadly, SMZ3 doesn't have the marker on the screen for whether or not it's a pendant or a crystal. Alright, Ikir is going to check Ice Tea before heading to the boss. That is reasonable. Just power bomb. So Ice Palace is really just having a Criteria 1 key. Was there anything else? There was something else. There had to be something else, but it's very likely a required dungeon anyway, so we'll see what comes of it. Ooh. Alright, the wreck ship boss key, that is important too. Alright, Ike here unfortunately moved the blocks in a sort of incorrect manner, so he's going to have to reload the super tile in order to do that again. Right, wreck ship boss and Criteria 1. Alright, here comes a Cold Stare fight. With sword beams, he can get in some extra damage without having to spend half of the magic meter, but he does get hit, so it has to stop partway through, but that's shouldn't matter. Easy cleanup. That's a good one. It's a charge beam, and it's a Ridley kill. Alright, we've got a Fantoon at Mire, and we've got crystals at Skullwoods and Pod. I think we knew some of that already. That's a charge beam for Scupula and a Ridley kill as well. Alright, Ike here is going to take the trip up to Skullwoods. He knows that it is required, and he's got everything he needs for it, so let's get it out of the way. Meanwhile, Scupula is heading to the mountain. Is he going into Norfair? Nope, he's going to the right side. Oh, he's going to Dark Death Mountain. Yep, there's an amount you can do here. Not a lot you can do in TR, though, with only one small and Nopit key. But there is a hookshot cave, there is a super bunny. Ikir gets his Norfair level 2 key. All right, first trip of the Super Bunny, we've got a Power Bomb, and we've got Super Missiles. We've got 4 checks in the Hookshot Cave. We can spy the medallion requirement for TR. And if we have a cape, I think we do have a cape. We've got Quake for TR, so that is vanilla medallions up and down. Alright, we've got a heart container, a small key that goes to Mire. That's all 3 Mire keys. We've got another pod small, and we've got a super missile. So 5 pod smalls is good enough for most runners because they can use the hammer jump to avoid using a small key, and that makes the entire dungeon clearable if you have a big key. So we're still on the lookout for that. Meanwhile, Ikir's got a tempered sword. He's going to have a little bit of an easier time with Mothula if he doesn't get bullied. He's going to switch to the cape, and that is not a bad play to make. Scrupula does elect to pick up the E-Tank on the floating island. We haven't found Varia yet, so Hellruns are still on the table. He's doing a think. Elects to go back into Super Metroid. Where is he gonna go? Well, he did get a Criteria 1 and a Wreck Ship key, so that opens up a few things. First check is going to be Criteria Power Bombs. Yeah, if you have space jump without high jump boots, it hurts. Like you don't know how good high jump boots is until you do not have high jump boots. Ooh, that's a Brinstar 1 key. Brinstar 1 opens up Billy Mays. So that is 2, 3. That is 4 checks in that area. Meanwhile, Scoop is going to check Gauntlet. We don't know what's in the front. This is our first look at it, but we know that there's a big key in the back. Meanwhile, Ike here is going to look at Bumper Ledge, which is just a heart container. Alright, so Ike here is likely going to check Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb from here. It's a blue cane for Scupula, not the red one that we're looking for, but Graveyard Ledge has a small key, and that's going to go to Skullwoods. That's a little disappointing, because sure, 3 are logically required, but you're not really. Alright, so what's this big key that we've seen but haven't been able to get to? Turtle Rock, well, that's required. Meanwhile, King's Tomb has the Criteria boss key. That is absolutely required to get into Turian. And I think this is our first look at Back of Escape, so let's see what we got here. Our last sword, an extra shield, and some bombs. Well, not going to turn down a sword, but definitely wanted something else. Alright, Scoop taking a save in Parlor. This is not a save you normally see, but he is, he is going to check Retro Bryn, and if it's nothing, I assume he resets out. So, not a bad save, but not one you usually see. Like here, picking up his level 1 Brinstar key. He may make the same play that Scoopula made, so he may take the safety save in Parlor and then make his way down here. Alright, this is our first look at this side of Brinstar. We've got a map. You can deboost. You can also just space jump. That is... It's a map of Thieves Town. Well, we still don't know what it is, so that's... It's not nothing. It's not progression, though, so it's something Scoopula may decide to reset anyway. Right, and in Billy Mays we got missiles and a boss key. It's Gan's Tower. Nope, you can't reset that. Alright, Ike here picks up the Turtle Rock big key, and Scoopula's gonna make his way back. Ike here is going to show us Bomb Tereso. Muscle memory is the door. Just an E-tank he elects to pick up, and even though he doesn't have bombs, we gotta fight. In the latest version of SMZ3, if you pick up the item, you're fighting. But it's 2 supers, easy peasy. Alright, is Ike here making the play to wreck ship? Yep, Scoopula's gonna make the play to wreck ship, while Ike here is gonna go down to Retro Brinstar, and a Ganon's Tower big key is in his future. Still don't have a Brinstar map, so no extra information off the map check. Ironic that the damage boost is probably faster than the space jump, because runners are so practiced at the damage boost, but not so much the space jump. Alright, well, here's a Phantoon fight on Scupula's side. Uh-oh. Hit the item switch one too many times, and now we have a very angry ghost. Thankfully, with Charge Beam, you can just hold the charge and do a spin jump, and the flames just pass right through you. No damage whatsoever. All you have to do is just wait out the attack, which is time, which, you know, when you're racing, it's a little bit of a problem. Certainly Nintendo Power did not have racers in mind when they suggested to players to just shoot 5 super missiles. And down goes Phantoon. And that is crystal number 4. But more importantly, that is also a wreck ship with the lights on, so now it's time to check other places. See what other items are hiding here. That is a spring ball, which is a convenience item at this point. We've already got Gravity Suit. We've already done a lot of things in Meridia already, so not progression of any sort, but certainly nice to have. You don't need to lay power bombs in order to jump in Morph Ball form. Left side super is vanilla supers. Scupula not going to save Scum here. Alright, the item in the maze is a Super Metroid map. I think we've already found 2 of them? Question mark? So probably not going to pick that up, but you never know. Actually, the only map that matters at this point is the Brinstar map, because we already know... Oh, that's a good pickup on Scupula's side. That is Silver Arrows. That'll make for a much easier Ganon fight, and... Actually, there's a few things left. We still have a required pod, so that'll help there. Alright, here's Ikir's Phantoon fight. The special beam combo with Spazer. Does get a fast on the disappearing Phantoon and the reappearing Phantoon. attempted the Doppler, but did miss out on that. One too many missiles there, so I'll have to start the pattern over again. Scoopio, meanwhile, is in worker robots in the attic. Just a missile tank. Alright, with Wrecked Ship 1, Scrupula does have access to peek at the item in Wrecked Ship Reserve. It is a Wave Beam. That's unfortunate. We don't have Speed Boost yet, so we're going to have to pass that by. And that's all of the beams accounted for. Ikir brings down Fantoon. And we know now that the strongest beam we're going to have is Charge Ice Spazer. Gross. Scoopula getting a map for the dungeon he just completed. Perfect. The spring ball for Ike here. Scrupula passing up on the orange gamer. Or is it red? Don't know for sure. Alright, Ike here will be very soon picking up silver arrows. Which is good because I don't think he saved Scum, so he has to keep what's here, but he'll be happy for it. Alright, just a hard piece at bowling missiles. And the last item in Wreck Ship is a small key to Desert Palace. Okay. So that gives us two on the left, two on the right side, but we're still in need of a way to get the Desert Big, which we know is at Plasma Beam. And we currently... Actually, no, we do have it. We have charge now, and we have the energy to survive the pseudo screws. So Scoopula can go get that if he A, knows that it's there, and B, wants to do that. I don't know if he scouted Plasma or not during his adventure in Meridia. Scoopula's heading back into A Link to the Past. Let's see where he wants to go from here. He doesn't have any clearable dungeons. Pod is nearly clearable with 5 smalls, but going there with without the big key is kind of mean. All right, he's gonna go into desert. It's going to take advantage of the Desert Small that he has. This is a green pendant. He doesn't have the Desert Big, does he? Is this just a dip at the 2? That was necessary. That is a Cane of Samaria. That is now a clearable Mire. And a Varia. Wow. Alright. That is a loaded right side of Desert. Alright, that does a lot. Where does Scoopio want to go from here? Because there's a lot that just opened. He's hovering over loot 1, which would take him... Nope, he's going to go to 3. Because one of the plays you can consider is going into Norfair. Mire, Red Cane... So the Hammer is definitely in Desert. Red Cane, that... Yeah. Mire, Red Cane, Varia, and Hammer in Desert Palace. I have never seen a better Desert Palace in my life. And we still don't know what's in the big chest. Because at this point, it could just be high jump boots. Alright, Scoopula heading into Graveyard Ledge. Ike here saw this before. It is a... I think it's a... Oh, it's a Skullwood Small. And Ike here picking up his Desert Small. We'll see if he goes to Desert to cash in immediately. We know it is absolutely correct, but we'll see how Ike here plays it, because we know that Ike here definitely saw the Desert Big at Plasma, so he has to consider whether or not he wants to make a second dip into Desert if he chooses to do this. Criteria boss key for Scoopula from King's Tomb. Because Ike here can go get the Desert Big now because he has the Charge Beam, and I think he's got enough energy. We'll see how he wants to play it. Scoopio showing us that Thieves Town is a crystal. So we still don't know where that third pendant is, but we should be able to deduce it because I think we've seen everything else. It's got to be Kraid, right? So the Super Metroid map stations are the sort of the Super Metroid equivalent of the A Link to the Past maps, where if you have the SM map, you can check your map in Super Metroid to see what the boss drop is. Alright, Ike here is going to cash in the Desert Small and will be rewarded for it. With a Red Cane and a Varia Suit. Mirror out. Meanwhile, Scoopio is going to get a Tempered Sword, his first shield, which he takes some slashes at, and a bomb. Well, regular bombs, not one. We haven't seen morph bombs yet. Alright, Ike here is going to take his Varia Suit and enter Lower Norfair. This makes sense, because now all of this is, well, at least part of this is available. What lower Norfair keys does he have? He can do this. Yep, he's got lower Norfair 1 and the boss key, so all of this is accessible. He's going to check Gold Tereso first. Again, high jump boots is making this a little bit difficult, but that is a power bomb and a heart container, which he does reset away, so he will have to go back to the ship and re-navigate to where he wants to be. So I don't know if he wants to go straight back into lower Norfair or if he just did that just for the check. Alright, Scooby-Doo's going to get his lower Norfair 1 key. And that gives him the full lower Norfair package. And Ike here's heading back into A Link to the Past. This is upper Norfair for Ike here. No, this is the mountain. Okay. Alright, Scoopio is going to show us Norfair Reserve. There is a case to be made that if you were going to check all this on Scoopula's side, you could have gone to lower Norfair first, because the exit drops you off right here, but he may want some extra items for the trek down there. Like, finding high jump here or screw attack would obviously be way better. Finds the single arrow. Finds a reserve tank. Meanwhile, Ikir is in Hookshot Cave, finds a Mire Small, a Pod Small, and some supers along with the heart container. That was in the first chest. And he will check the Mire Medallion, not the Mire Medallion, the TR Medallion, sees that it's Quake and can open it, so in we go. He's got 2 TR Smalls, so to go as far as he could, he would have to skip Laser Bridge. No, not skip Laser Bridge. He'd have to skip Lava Chest, and he would not be able to progress further than Laser Bridge. So he'd be able to check the 4 and then leave Trinex behind. Although we could get the rando special of at least 1 TR Small in TR. It has happened before. Ike here is going to go to the right side first. 2 items here, and then there's 1 in the first chest, which is on the left side. Bombs and a map to Desert Palace, which we already know is a green pendant, so not much use there. Scrupula doing a gate glitch to get into Croc. Normally that requires either, not normally, but actually in normal, that would require Wave Beam or Speed Booster, but hard mode does require... Hard mode can require that glitch, and Ikir finds the lower Norfair boss key. There were 2 boss keys for Norfair? I thought they all did the same thing. Alright, well, he's got that now. So now he can go to Ridley. I was under the assumption that he could have gone to Ridley before, but I was mistaken. Pod small. That gives Ikir 4, and once Scoopula makes the trip to TR, that'll be his 6th. Which is just extra, if he knows how to hammer jump, but if not, then he'll need all 6. Alright, Ikir is gonna pick up the key on Pokey, and it's gonna have to be... Yep. Make sure you are far away from that door and you don't accidentally open it up. Just missiles at Croc power bombs. Over at Sine Wave, we've got a small key to Ganon's tower. That is now all 4 of those. Granted, you don't need all 4 because you're never opening the center door, but that's there now. Over at Mimic Cave, we got a heart container. That's our Eastern Big. Over at Grapple Beam. Always bet on Croc. And the Swamp Big, that's less important. Actually, we don't know the value of the Eastern Big yet because Eastern is a pendant. So, only important if there's something in the big chest or on Armos Knights. So that's a question mark. So, maybe bet on Croc. I forget what was at Croc Escape. I don't think it was anything important. Yeah, it was just a heart piece. Alright, Ikir is going to check Laser Bridge, hoping for another TR small. Gets Morph Bombs. Missiles. A Hyrule Castle small, so everything at Hyrule Castle's in logic, as if they didn't already get everything. And a fresh set of clothing. Alright. TR was a bust, I think. There was nothing really important there, so Ikir's going to hold on to his portal as long as he can. The item after Croc. If that was a heart piece. Yeah, Croc Escape was a heart piece. Oh, right, the lower Norfair boss key was in fact important. You are correct. For some reason, my goldfish memory just forgot it. Alright, Ikir is going to take the dip. No speed booster, no screw attack, means we have to use power bombs to get through pillars. Meanwhile, Scrupula is going to be in Swamp Palace. This is a required dungeon, so he'll clear it out. This is where the lack of screw attack is really noticeable. So unless you know how to specifically get through worst room in the game with power bombs to make iframes and doing the good speed run setup of things, then it's just fire supers. Just missiles at Mickey Mouse. Don't really care too much about that. Yep, and this door is Lower Norfair 1. Well, Ikir did miss the setup on being able to just hug the ceiling, but does get a space jump anyway, so able to recover. Just gonna check Fire Fleas. Does he not have... Is he just looking for insurance, I guess? Or does he not have the Lower Norfair big? Alright, he's gonna check... He's gonna continue on. This does let him check Power Bombs of Shame, but if he doesn't have the Lower Norfair big, the Lower Norfair boss key, he has to turn around. Meanwhile, on Scrupula's side, because he has the Cane of Samaria, his diver down setup is a little bit faster than Ikir's. And that's a 50. Ikir's energy is a little sketch. Certainly took a lot before coming down here, so... Oh, he's got plenty to Crystal Flash with in case things get dire. It looks like Ikir is going to farm up energy. Not unreasonable. Want to make sure you don't die. Dying is a time loss. And here's a Ridley. Scrupula's getting his keep out of Swamp Palace. And just like that, down goes Ridley. Scrupula getting his Norfair 1 key. And that's Crystal 6 for Ikir. That gives... That's not both red crystals, because TR is the other one. Right, but that's another required dungeon down for, well, dungeon in quotes. It's not really a dungeon per se, but it's a required boss kill. Alright, so let's compare. Where are we at with boss kills? Ike here's got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, while Scupula has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at the moment, Ike here's ahead in terms of just straight progression and boss kills. That's the thing that matters, but looking at items, yeah, it's about tied up on items too, so advantage right now is at Ike here. Yeah, Scupula lost a lot of time trying to do the ice clip to shack tool, which we now know is an out of logic clip without a few items. Like he could have had high jump boots to put it in logic, or grapple beam, obviously. Alright, Scupula's going to check the pyramid, which is a boss key. I'm sorry, it's a big key. What big key is this? The pod big. Okay. That is a full clearable pod if he can hammer jump. If he doesn't, he's going to have to go to TR to get the 6th pod small. And I think that is on Scupula's mind, because he is making a beeline to pod. Ooh, that's an ether at Franker's E-missiles. And that is Mire access, and that is a required dungeon, so good pickup there. This Key Hunter's being a bully. Alright, pod is a lot of items. I think the number is 14. Alright, so interesting play by Scupula. He is not opening up the center chest. I'm sorry, he's not opening up the center door, which tells me he's going to attempt to just completely skirt around it and then use the 5th small on the dark maze. Which, you know, if you are not confident in hammer jump, that is an absolutely valid play to make. It just, you know, slows down your routing a little bit. Like you're getting a TR small after he's already been to TR. Picks up an energy tank, which he will absolutely take. Alright, Scupula is going to clear out Helmasaur King first and then do the rest of the dungeon, which is absolutely fine, because the dungeon is the thing that you know is required, and then the rest of it is just a big old question mark. Alright, we're 2 hours and 30 minutes in, and we haven't really talked about go mode at all. So let's talk about what our go mode looks like for our runners. Let's see what we're missing. We are missing a well, we know where the desert big is, so we need a way to get it, which is, well, both of our runners have it. They just have to, you know, do pseudo screws with charge beam. So that part's fine. We are missing a thieves big, which is required. Is that it? Are we just Thieves Big Go mode? Huh. Alright, well. It was closer than I thought. Now, mind you, that Thieves Big could be in a lot of places. Like, it could be behind Eastern Palace. It could be... Yeah, so, like, between our runners, the only thing that we need to know is where is Thieves Big. But yes. Ikir does need to get the pod big, which we know is on the pyramid ledge. Scrupula needs to get ether, which we know is at Franker Z missiles. And the unknown here is whether how long it takes Ikir to get to the pyramid ledge, because that's he only routes that in with pod at this point because there's nothing really else around there, which is unfortunate because you only go to pod if you're, you only go to pyramid if you're ready to go to pod, so it's like sort of the catch-22 there. But, that's rando. Alright, Scooby checking the vanilla big key chest, which is just a heart container. I'm sorry, heart piece. And it's going to take the drop down. Or just bombs. Mire's out. Ike here is saying hello to Croc. Oh, Scupula did open up the center door. So I'm guessing he's either going to Hammer Yump or he's going to Orphan Harmless Hellway. Right, he's not opening up the Dark Maze. Some money in the basement of Pod. He's going to open up Harmless Hellway, so he is committed to hammering up at this point. Just supers, and a little bit of a rage there. Yes, Scupula did abandon the Shack Tool check. It was not working out, and as we now know, it was out of logic. It did not have the items to put it in logic, so would have been nice to get it out of the way while it was there, but no. Alright, Hammer Yump successful. Small key saved. Just some bombs, though, in the big chest, and we've got 2 more in the Dark Maze. It's an E-Tank. And a missiles, so Pod was just apparently nothing. It was required boss kill, but that's about it. That is the 4th Ganon's Tower small key for Ike here. Alright, Scupula's got 2 TRs, smalls, and a big key. Ike here getting the Swamp Big. And the Eastern Big. Ike here's got one super to his name. He's gonna have to be careful with it. Scrupula getting into a little bit of a fight with the berry and not succeeding. Alright, so Scrupula has 3 TR smalls, so that means as long as he skips lava chest, he can clear. And that's the low Norfair boss key for Scrupula, so now he can go to Ridley. Meanwhile, Ike here is going to give us our first look at Ice Beam and Crumble Tower. It's a small key. It's the Thieves Town small, which doesn't do a lot at the moment because we don't have the Thieves big. Scrupula gets his 6th pod small, which is useless at the moment. He's already full cleared it. Heads up by Scrupula to turn the anti-fairy into a fairy to refill health. And the Norfair 1 key was probably a bust. Like, the Thieves Small won't do anything because we know that Go mode is the Thieves Big, and at that point, there's nothing that the Thieves Small can be guarding that is necessary. Right, Scrupula correctly scooping up the key, and then turning around and going back. Meanwhile, Ike here is gonna go to Mire. Mire is a full clearable dungeon, has all the small keys, the big key. It's got everything. There are, I think the number is 8 checks in this dungeon. You always have to redo the math when you're so used to a non-Keysanity mode. Because, you know, you play non-Keysanity, it's like, oh, Mire has 2, easy. But when you're playing Keysanity, you have to add in the small keys, which is 3, and then you have to add in the dungeon items, which is another 3. So, big ol' 8 in Mire. Very deceptive. You think, oh, it's nothing because it's 2, and then it just turns into, oh wait, there's actually stuff here. Question in chat, were the Castle Tower chests ever checked? No. Both of our runners have ignored Castle Tower. So those are 2 chests that are just chilling there. But at the moment they have a lot of other stuff to do, so I don't blame the skip for now, but that is definitely going to be a something that will we will have to reconsider once things start winding down and we haven't found our Thieves Big yet. Another bottle. Scooby picking up his morph bombs. The Hyrule Castle small. And shiny gold armor for Mega Man X. That's the Thieves Big in Mire. Is that go mode for Ike here? No, he needs the pod big. So he needs to go over to Pyramid Ledge, pick that up, and I think he's in go mode. Alright, so chat, we have the answer. We just are waiting for our runners to catch up. Yes, so the best case scenario for Ike here is that he goes to the pyramid before he goes to pod, and he's able to go mode pod. Just go straight to the back and just beat up Helmasaur King. That is best case. He may, however, go to Thieves Town first and full clear that instead. So, did Scupula decide not to go into Mire? I think he's got everything for it, so I'm wondering if he's going to come back to it. Alright, so it's not a big deal for him to skip over Mire for now because he's got the flute. You can easily get back there. So, all right, he needs ether and he doesn't have it yet. So, and ether is at the end of Lower Norfair, so he'll be back for it, and it's easy to get back with the flute. So that's not a problem. And it's the same route that Ike here had to take, so he's not losing any time there. Yeah, it looks like Ike here is going to go to Thieves Town first. It is not unreasonable, it's just we know it's not the answer. Yes, that is correct. There is no Crave the Seed. We have not had a need for it, and our runners correctly deduce that it is not required as a pendant, which is unfortunate because Kraid is sort of like the Eastern Palace of Super Metroid. It is a very easy boss to defeat. It's very get in, get out. So you always hope it's required, and, well, wasn't this time. Yes, both of our runners have already done the front of Thieves Town because the front of Thieves Town was loaded. We had found mitts, hookshot, and fire rod in the front of Thieves Town. So it was a extremely lucrative dip for both of our runners. And of course, we get our screw attack after we have already completed lower Norfair, because of course. So screw attack will be possibly relevant to make a slightly faster terrain escape, but actually so our runners had a way of getting to the Desert Palace Big Key, which we know is at Plasma Beam, because they have Charge Beam. They could have done pseudo screws, but screw attack now makes that trivial, because now they could just do a screw attack, which is way easier than charging and then doing a spin jump. So it will make things a little bit easier, but they were capable of doing the thing without screw attack. It is at this point just a convenience item. Yes, I don't think... Let's see. The Thieves Big was in Mire. What's Scrupulous Go Mode? Is it just the Thieves Big? Yeah, he doesn't skip it, though, because he has to go to the attic to open it up. So, he still looks for things to make the rest of the game easier. He's going to look for Speed Booster. He's going to look for High Jump Boots. So, I don't think he skips that chest, especially since it's right there. At this point, Ikir is on cleanup, so he will do the dungeons he's already gone into to finish them up. He is still looking for the Pod Big, which we know is not going to be in any of the dungeons he has yet to go into. Again, the best case scenario is that once he clears out TR, he will go to the pyramid and pick up the Pod Big. And yes, that is correct. If he elects to do Pyramid Fairy, he's going to pass by the Thieves Big sitting right on the ledge, and that's his go mode. While we were talking about that, that is a Ridley kill for Scrupulous, so at this point he needs a Desert Big and a pot and a Thieves Town Big. He is going to get the He's going to get Ether at the end of this. And then Ether is going to get him Mire. Mire gets him the Thieves Big. So Scrupula now needs to get the Desert Big, and I think I mentioned this before, I do not remember if he scouted it at Plasma. I know for sure that Aikir did. But if Scrupula didn't, that is a very hard location to go back to. Especially considering what other things Scrupula has access to at the moment. He has Eastern, so he has Armos Knights. He has Castle Tower. Yeah, there's just there are other places he can go. I do like this by Scrupula. He is damaging down just enough to do a Crystal Flash, and then he can continue on and get bullied by some Key Hunters, and that is a fantastic Crystal Flash animation for the Mega Man sprite. Yeah, Gold Sword Trinex is a pretty easy Trinex. Easy peasy. Down goes Trinex. Alright, let's see what Aikir wants to do from here. If he goes to Pyramid Fairy, he'll be in go mode once he sees the big key on the ledge. Oh, this is Spike Cave. This is a reasonable check to make. You're in the area. If your go mode is here, then you got it. And you're not coming back here for a while, so you might as well do it. So this is fair. He just passed by Gan's Tower hoping it was going to trigger, but nope. Pod is a crystal, and he hasn't done it yet. Because had Pod been a Super Metroid boss instead, he would have 7 crystals, and since you're already here, you might as well just do Ganon's Tower, but not in the cards today. Alright, Spike Cave not any help, and the Link's House start is a good sign. He's got his hammer out. He's gonna go for the Pyramid Fairy. Alright, Aikir's got a big bomb. Scrupula's got a Norfair 1 key. The bomb goes off. Pyramid Fairy is accessible. However, that's a pod big, and at 256.15 abouts, Ikir's in go mode. So pod is the only dungeon left that Ikir has to do. Everything else is not required. That is Crade, Eastern, and Desert. So from here, Ikir is going to go mode pod, make his way back up the mountain, complete Ganon's tower, defeat Ganon, and then head on back to Super Metroid to defeat Mother Brain. We are probably looking at probably another 20 minutes or so, if I had to guess. Meanwhile, Scupula has picked up an ether. I would assume he's going to head to Mire, because that is now a full clearable dungeon for him. So Scupula is on the path. He's going to be able to clear Mire and Thieves Town, but the only thing that's going to be left... Well, no, not Thieves Town. He doesn't have the Thieves Big. What was in Mire that was necessary? These Bigs in Mire. So the whole discussion with Desert Big is now just moot, right? Because now we just have our go mode, so Scupula's on the path. Yeah, I was thinking for a second, I'm like, Desert Big was important, but it turns out it's not. Because that was not the answer. And that is a Helmosaur King down for Ikir. And that's a Thieves Big for Scupula. And I believe that's his go mode at 259.44. Alright, both of our runners are in go mode, so it's just complete dungeons and beat some games. Alright, Ikir making his way to Turtle Rock. He's already been here, so let's just go straight to the back. Oh. Ikir has already defeated Trinex, so he just needed to He just needed the portal. Alright. Time to go into Ganon's tower. We have 4 smalls. We've got a big key. So we are not searching for anything. We're just gonna make the trip up. Alright, that is another crystal down for Scupula, and he is going to flute over to the village, make his way to Thieves Town, and that will be his 7th crystal. Yeah, the shack tool play on Scupula's side is, when you're in a race, like even if it's not 1v1, it's a community race, there's always something you want to do to give yourself an edge over the competition. You make a check that not anyone else would make. You do something that's like out there, and you hope it pays off. And this shack tool play, if it had something, would have paid off if he was able to do it. So don't blame him for the attempt. It just took a long time. It didn't pan out, and he spent some time on it, which it'll happen. Alright, this should be screw attack for Scupula if he doesn't, oh, he chooses not to. So no screw attack for Scupula, which is... Again, it's if you're in go mode, you're not getting anything. I get it. Me personally, I would get chests that were right in front of me, but that's why I'm commentating and not racing. Because every check is 3 seconds or so. So, one check here, one check there. All of a sudden, there's, actual amounts of time. And that's a Moldorm 2 down for Ike here. Very easy with a gold sword. Scupula takes down Blind. I would say very easy with a gold sword, but you could have a fighter sword, it'd be the same fight. Pretty much. And that's the 7th crystal for Scupula, so now he will make his way to Ganon's tower, where Ike here is about to finish up Ganon's tower with a fight with Agahnim 2. It's a double. Oh, all of them are right on top of each other. That's a really good pattern. That's, why can't I have patterns like that? Anyway, Agahnim 2 down for Ike here, and now it's time to fight a pig. Red mail, gold sword, silvers. It doesn't get much better than this. Oh no. Ike here takes a fall. We'll have to start it over again. This will give some time for Scoopula to catch back up. Unfortunately, Ike here was caught in a bad position when the third phase started, so... hopefully he can avoid that on the second go-around. Meanwhile, Scoopio is beginning his ascent up the tower. And of course, if you take a fall, Ganon's teleport patterns are randomized, so should Scoopula take an unfortunate fall, his patterns would be different. No torch glitch, but we have a gold sword, we have silvers, so the torch glitch is not super necessary, and let's see some single G's in chat for Ike here, who not finishes, but he finishes off Ganon, and now just has a Mother Brain left to go. Yes, Ike here is going to take a refill, and that is reasonable considering the beam combo is not spectacular. It is just charge ice spazer. We know where Plasma was. It was never going to get picked up. It is behind 3 unnecessary dungeons, and Wave is behind Speed Booster, and we never found it. So unfortunate, but sticking with super missiles is probably the best way to go here. Meanwhile, Scoopio making his way through the gauntlet, past Wizropes too, and is going to continue forward. Yep, yeah, that is a good point. We have seen none of the boomerangs. We saw the blue boomerang on the Lumberjack Ledge. We saw the red boomerang on Ether Tablet, and we did not find the green boomerang, aka the Speed Booster. So, just lacking in boomerangs. Scoopula takes down Moldorm 2 and is gonna make his way to Agahnim 2. Now, Ikir does have plenty of ammo, but may want to just have 60 supers for the Mother Brain fight, but gets grabbed intentionally or otherwise, but oh, okay, he's gonna damage down. This is reasonable because he doesn't have wave beam, he doesn't have high jump, he doesn't have speed booster, so baby skip is not super viable here. That's an Agahnim 2 down for Scupula, and he will now meet a pig. Akira damages down exactly where he needs to be and gets grabbed by the baby Metroid. Just enough to get the energy down to 1 pretty quickly. Meanwhile, Scupula is beginning his Ganon fight. It's going to be roughly the same as Ikir's. Gold sword, silver arrows, red mail. Hopefully with less falls. Alright, Ikir did try for the ice Zeb skip. A little bit different when you don't have wave beam. Means you do have to shoot at it from below, right when the rink appears. But did miss it, so just opted just to do the Zeb skip, which I am a fan of. Single G's in chat for Scupula, who finishes off one of our 2 final bosses. And will now be heading back into Super Metroid to take on Mother Brain. Ikir on Mother Brain 3 takes the equivalent of 60 supers to get to the next phase. He opts to go down to 15 supers and then missile down. And then once the catch-up phase begins, you can take the rest of the supers and send them Mother Brain's way, and that will be enough to end this phase. Ikir does not damage down, setting up what is very probably stand-up glitch, but does not have plasma, so the amount of damage that you can do... I don't know what happens here. So he's in the stand-up portion, but I don't know if this triggers the cutscene. It does, but now... Ooh, what happens here? Okay, we're gonna learn some things. We're gonna learn if this is a soft lock or not. It should be fine as long as Mother Brain's beams can hit the baby Metroid where Samus is currently sitting. Alright, let's see it. This is probably fine. I think the beam still hit it. We're good. Maybe. He does need to get Hyper Beam. Hopefully this is fine. We're good! Always a little scary when stand-up goes awry, because you do not know what will happen. Because the game is not designed for you to do stand-up glitch. You have to hope that everything lines up correctly, and thankfully it did in this instance. Down goes Mother Brain. And now we have a Torian escape away from a finish. Scupula opting to do the baby skip as well. Again, reasonable when you don't have any of the movement items that make baby skip viable. And the Torian escape is going to be a slow one because no speed booster, no high jump. Just good old-fashioned walking. And some good old-fashioned jumping. So out of 5 racers tonight, everyone get your GGs in chat for Ikir, who finishes first on Restream and first overall with an official racetime.gg time of 3 hours, 19 minutes, and 34 seconds. And let's welcome in the winner of today's race, Ikir. GG's. So, we'll talk about the immediate thing. How scared were you at the at stand-up glitch gone awry?
Oh, that freaked me out. I've never seen that before. Like I hit and I'm like 300. I'm like, oh shoot, it's gonna be me again. I need to get myself down really quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I actually don't know what happens there. If
right.
I get wounded or not. So.
Yeah, I was like, uh-oh, something's gonna happen here. I didn't expect your sprite to start drifting to the right.
Neither did I. I'd never seen that happen before.
And I'm like, uh-oh, can Mother Brain hit the baby? And the answer is yes, and everything was fine. So
the baby latched on, and Mother Brain could hit me. Because the worst thing that would happen would be if I got stuck without sliding. Mm-hmm. Mother Brain could hit me to have to.
Right. Yep. And that's.
Yeah, that was a little freaky.
Yeah, and granted, I believe you did take the save of the ship because you had to refill, so not a huge thing, but that's still not great.
I didn't take the one in
or in
Korea. Yeah, I did not take that one. Which I sometimes do. I didn't this time because I figured, I'm good.
Yeah.
I have to get a refill one.
Yep. So all in all, this is not a terrible seed by any means. There was not a lot of hard mode things that were required, if I'm remembering this correctly.
Yeah, I don't think there really was much. We got gravity on the Brim Loop, I think.
Yep. Yeah, gravity was weight gate.
And then we got Varia before we really needed to do anything in Varia.
Yeah. Like the only thing that you could have really done was take the Hell Run to Cathedral to see that there was a key in Cathedral, but that was about it.
And I did. I did that. That was the only Hell Run I think I did. And there was the Lower Norfair 1 key, which was because that let me actually do Ridley up around instead of having to find that first.
Right. Yeah. So.
Wish I had that third Turtle Rock small before I went to Turtle Rock, though.
Yeah.
That was in Norfair, I think.
It was somewhere.
A trip.
Yeah. Scoopula was able to single dip TR. He had 3 on his first trip through.
Yeah, I just thought it was quick and like, ooh, there's probably something in here. And yeah, Lower Norfair.
Yeah. Not unreasonable to do dips in Keysanity, of course. It just didn't pan out there.
Yeah, it's almost always a small in Turtle Rock. There was a sword and swamp, though.
There was a sword and swamp, absolutely.
I did really enjoy having to go through Meridia like this.
Yes, and I was freaking out because I'm like, like the Meridia Dark World access is always scary until you find the glove, and luckily it was in Hype Cape, so it was just not a thing. But doing Overworld in Dark World when your access is Meridia is always scary because you take an Overworld death and all of a sudden you have to spend another 2 minutes or 3 minutes to get back, and it's just awful.
Yeah. I was really glad about that. Most thing that annoyed me the most though was the pod making up pyramid.
Oh yeah. That was your go mode, obviously, and Scoopia had it like a little bit before you did, and it was it was like, all right, he'll eventually get to it if he does Pyramid Fairy. He'll be right there. But
that was the plan. That's why I went up into Turtle Rock again before even going to pod. Because, like that opens up Pyramid Fairy. I can do Pyramid Fairy into Pyramid, into Mire, and do Agate Tower because I haven't done that yet. I probably got Agate Tower Swamp yet. Fire somewhere late. So yeah, I had those 2 items on my mind too. So it's like, let's do all those. I see the big key. It's like, pod.
Was there anything left? I mean, you saw the desert, so it couldn't have been that. Yeah.
I had all pod left. I had Swamp Big, which I thought about doing also.
All right.
GG.
Yep. He's about to finish up on the restream.
I had Catfish too, which I hadn't done. I hadn't been the pod area.
Yep, and that is a finisher Scoopula who finishes at 3:24.25, second on the restream and second overall. So having 1-2 on restream is super cool.
Oh yeah. And what was up with the pod chest? I opened it, had nothing in it.
Oh yeah, I did not notice that. I saw somebody clipped it and put it in chat.
I'm like, wait, what? Because the only thing I really need at that point was Speed Booster. That would have helped out the escape a lot. And
Scoopula did not open that chest because he go-moded pod, so...
Yeah, we both did. Sweet.
Yes, so, yeah. Let's get a Scoopula in here, and then we'll all talk together.
Yeah, not tipping pod until late made me really feel bad about tipping Wreck Ship early, because I think that was the only thing that was in there was a small key to pod.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what was in Wreck Ship specifically, but there was...
just like the first 3 items to go in there and get the moat, the water item, and the power bomb tank. What is that?
Yeah. But yeah, the seed was... It was a really good early game for Link to the Past. You got a flute early, you got... You got stuff early, so it's like, cool, you get to move around, you get to, have to spend your entire time walking and everything. But then Super Metroid was just like, you get your pieces here and there, so that was fine.
Yeah, the Red Loop was nice because I think we got the way to get into Edicoons like right there. So okay, we don't have to like come back later.
Yep, and let's welcome in Scoopula. GG's.
Scoopula.
GG here. What's up?
Yeah. So
I'm sure we've had this Shactal discussion. Is that where this is going?
Yeah, so Ike here did not do Shactal at all, just ignored it on the loop, and we saw your attempt at it. Yeah, and
Hard
yeah.
right.
Yeah, it's hard mode, but I was looking at the logic sheet during the whole thing, and I think it is out of logic with what we had at the time. Like,
Oh.
I think ice doesn't do it on its own. I think you needed high jump or some other combination of items.
Yeah, it's definitely out of logic, but they had this traumatic event with the race a couple of weeks ago, or maybe not even that long, where you had to get grapple to get boots, and like half the field did that, like did the ice clip, but grapple was like 3 miles away, or 3
Yeah.
hours. So
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
if you make the play and it's something huge, then, like, cool, you don't have to come back here and you've got a leg up. So, like, worth the attempt. It just didn't pan out here.
Well, what's interesting is I always fire too late. I couldn't get him off the ground. I was firing a frame early, over and over
Yep.
and over, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
Yeah, it was consistent for sure. It just wasn't what you needed to do.
I'm like sitting there. I'm like, dude, and you know what? I know seeds stand on their own, but it's called, I was going that way because I'm like, I know I got to go through the portal of Dark World. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to go down and ice rod and sword. So yeah, that's why I did it really, but
Yeah, I get it.
See that?
Yeah, but besides that, both of your progressions were pretty much like right there. Like, it wasn't like following step for step, but there was times when you guys were screen for screen, like checking the Mire area, checking checkerboard, like all of that was like you guys were right there at the same time.
nice.
That's great. Yeah, it was a little linear at the very beginning, but once you got more volume, it opened up a bit more.
Well, some of us have seen, the empty wreck ship or the barely empty wreck ship. So what's there at the end? Like we see all the time, some sort of progression. Well, it's a desert key. Well, let's go to the desert.
And as it turns out, this was the most stacked desert and the most stacked Thieves Town I've ever seen in SMZ3.
Yeah, no kidding.
What was in Thieves? Because that was like yesterday.
Yeah.
The mitts were in Thieves.
Mitts,
the,
hookshot, and
hookshot,
fire rod.
Yeah.
And you skipped it, Scubula, but in the attic was screw attack.
Okay. Well, that was number 2. Number 1 was, did you find speed?
Nope.
No one found speed on Restream.
Because I'm like, I didn't open blind cell or the chest there, and I'm like, well, that's probably right there. So then I opened GT at the top, and I'm like, okay.
No, but I was looking for pod big key at the time, so I opened Thieves Town, all of it, and there was nothing.
Oh.
I really, really thought about stealing the desert small key, because once I knew it was a green pendant, it's like, oh, I should grab the small key to check it. And I didn't.
Yeah. So
I would have saved a lot of time.
Yeah. So there was an interesting gambit with the desert big. So Ikir, you scouted it, and it was in plasma, correct?
It was in plasma, and I couldn't get it at the time because I had no way of killing.
Yeah, no way of killing it, right? So you had the knowledge, Scupula didn't, and there was the big question that I was raising in chat is that if that becomes relevant, you had the knowledge that it was there, so you had charge at that time. Like afterward, you could go back to it and do it, but like if it ended up being nothing, then whatever. But that was a huge question mark because if it's something that's huge, yeah. But as it turns out, it didn't matter.
Yeah,
That was very
I could see that because if I'm looking correctly, that's 3 items.
Yep, the boss, the big chest, and the green pendant turn in.
It's funny because I'm doing this multi-world practice SM only multi-world. Okay. So we get this last one I do is stuff that doesn't come up because we're doing major minor for Rando League, right? So you're missing a lot of stuff. So I'm like, well, I'm not used to having to deal with charge, ice, spazer, and yeah. So here we go, charge ice spazer, and where's wave? Oh, we saw that, can't get it. Where's plasma? Saw that, can't get it. Thanks, game.
Yeah, really annoyed at that.
It was nice of the game to tell you, here it is, but you can't get it.
It had some,
So I was glad to get Spacer at least.
yeah, which I forgot to turn on for an hour, so it was cool too.
Yeah, I just thought you didn't pick it up because I'm like, oh well, you know, there's no reason why he wouldn't turn it on if he had it, and then, well, yeah.
Super smart, you know.
We all are. It's fine.
It happens. I've done like half an hour runs without turning my plasma on before.
Well, if it was plasma, I'd be even more upset. Spacer, yeah, it's okay. Not too badly hurting yourself.
Yeah, but otherwise, just pretty kind Keysanity seed, all things considered.
Yeah.
Given the hard logic, I've had normal SMZ3s, not Keysanity, roam longer.
Yeah, it was like 4 minutes after I rolled it. I'm like, oh man, here we go. But it wasn't terrible. I don't know if you remember seeing me now, but I was gonna. This never comes up with me, but I was gonna key steal for desert, and I pulled up a rock with my not gloved hand, and yeah, so oops. But the reason I decided to get back there eventually was, well, here's a key. This is a pointer because we had gloves. I didn't need the key, but yeah, that was. I expected one thing, not two. That was fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a good desert.
Yeah, big love of the time I probably was stolen the key, but because I had to use Mire to get it, I didn't.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's it. Unless you guys have anything else.
No, just thanks for doing this again. 3 hours by yourself can be a little rough. And thank you for tracking. I had the name.
Yeah, that is Kif. That is Kif. Yes.
There we go. Thank you for
Yes.
as well.
Very
Glad I could
appreciate your gift.
put on a close race. That's usually my goal here.
Yeah, we're within 5 minutes. That's it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, Iker had a good week. Because you're on restream against me, and that's pretty good.
Oh yeah, it was like Monday.
That was in fact Monday.
I like the Keysanity modes. Keysanity, I'm a cross keys player in Zelda, so I love Keysanity.
Ah, so that's your wheelhouse then. It's fine.
It is. It is.
Yeah, give me keys. I like keys. You can take your entrance and keep it. I have to learn area rando and SM, and that's okay. It's fun, like going through the door. Oh, this is here, but then when you go to find it later, it's like that's probably the interesting part's finding stuff. The not interesting part is remembering where.
Yeah, it's okay. Just just track it on paper. It's easy.
Yeah. Alrighty. Hey, thanks, GG again.
Yep. Thanks. GG.
Mm-hmm. Yep. GG's to both of you, and shout outs to. By the way, chat. If you are not following these runners, go ahead and follow them because they have put on a great show for us. And if you would like to, you can also follow the crew as well. We have some other SMZ3 races scheduled for the weekend. Tomorrow at noon Eastern, I think we have normal 774. And let's see what else we have. And then Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern, we have hard mode 774 fast Ganon. And then Monday the 27th at 9 p.m., we have normal with random requirements, fast Ganon, and co-op. So that is going to be an interesting one for sure. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next mission.